What's happening in DC, Maryland, Virginia? This is episode number 10 of the DMV Hustlers podcast. This is entitled Trust the Process. Whenever you have an important goal, a business, or whatever may have you, you need systems in place that have been there, developed through trial and error, learned from mistakes. And in this episode, we discuss this in real estate, business, why it's important to trust the system maybe your mentor has created, and some reasons why maybe you might feel that you don't want to trust the system, but it is imperative to your success. So stay tuned for more. What up? Happy Saturday. We're back again with another episode of the DMV Hustlers. What's happening today?
Man, it's funny. The other day, you got so excited about getting that permit, you ran out the office. Like literally, got the permit, so you let him go. Gotta go pick my kids up. Now we had a little action in here, man. We had some action. I said I can't wait to get with you today to talk about it, man. Get your perspective on it and kind of see what kind of lesson we can learn from it, man. So it's be real interesting.
Okay. Yeah. It was exciting to get that permit done. It was a focused effort over just a couple days, and that was my number one focus, and I got it done. That was good for the day.
So look, and matter of fact, and part of, it's kind of funny, part of the lesson actually leads back into, leads into what I gather you have learned, which made you say, I'm going to go get this permit. Which is kind of crazy if you think about it.
Yeah.
So, every week we do a weekly conference call with our students.
Right.
To kind of just give them some insight into what's going on into our business. So it's really just more so them listening to me and Reggie and Mike just kind of chop it up.
Yeah.
And Shalice too. And sometimes if we have, like a meeting in the office, if visitors are here, we get their insight too. So last week or the week before, Tiara and Walter were here, so they joined in too. So it's kind of crazy. So the other day, we had gotten some input that essentially we aren't to be trusted, right? And it kind of made me think, like, that's kind of crazy from the standpoint that everything we deal with is all about trusting in the system, right? Trust the process. Like, some things may not happen in the time you want them to happen, but they're going to happen. And when they happen, you got to be ready.
Right.
You got to be ready to take some action. So I'm talking to Mike and Reggie and Shalice about it, and it just made me think, like, it's amazing when things have worked. People have trusted in the system and things have gone their way for so long, but then let's say they want to create a hybrid. And then they want to go their own way, or not even kind of go their own way, but let's say a hybrid, or they want to do something that they feel is still kind of part of the system, but then it doesn't really enhance the system.
Okay.
So we got to do something about that, right? So we do something, and we say, okay, it's better to just, we need to get back to focusing on the system. Because we out here floundering like a fish out of water, man. We just flapping. We just like, everybody trying to figure it out. What's going on? Here's what I thought this was going to be. It's not that.
Right.
Why is that not the case? All right, well, you know me. I'm the janitor, man. I'm going to clean this mess up. I'm going to bring it back on focus, and we going to go. We going to go, and then we go. And then the successes start coming back, or we start seeing progress. And it may even be nominal, you know what I mean? It may be, or marginal. It may be very marginal in the beginning, then it becomes nominal, then it gets greater and greater and greater. You're like, wow, this thing is really working. Then you can take a look back and say, how did we get here? Like, and then you see how you got there.
Right.
And me, you know me, dog. I say, well, I'm content king. I'm more so, I'll be the king of accountability. Place the blame on me. The reason why I'm that way is because when somebody places blame, then I say, okay, well, what you gonna do about it? Because I know what I'm willing to do. Somebody say, well, it's your fault. Okay, so what does that mean? It's my fault. Okay, what you gonna do about that?
Okay.
So he say, in this case, it's Marcus, it's your fault why we're here. So what you gonna do about it? Well, I'm gonna work 6 days a week. I'm gonna get up early, I'm gonna stay up later, I'm gonna bust my ass, I'm gonna learn how to do things that I did not know how to do yesterday, and I'm gonna learn today, and I'm gonna go submit some permits, I'm gonna go work on some projects, I'm gonna figure out some accounting, I'm gonna do some things, it's gonna put us in a different predicament tomorrow. That's what I'm gonna do, what you gonna do. And then tomorrow when it don't work, I'll say, guess what, it's still my fault because I don't know enough, and I'm gonna go learn some more. Until I can say, guess what, it's my fault, we won. I hit the winning shot, Joe. So now what you gonna do while you was on the bench?
Right.
Like what you gonna do? So we get in that predicament. So I'm saying this to Michael Ratchet. I'm like, man, this is kind of crazy. Like they saying don't trust in the system. Then I thought about you, right? And I said, now remember, let's rewind. 60 days ago, we having a staff meeting. We said, Alex, you know what's up? You like, man, this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
I get defensive. I'm like, okay, well, make a decision.
Yeah.
Because I know what I'm doing. I know, and I know what I'm not preaching to a choir. I am saying, here is what it takes for us to get to the next level. So you'll say, well, why? Why does it take that? Well, here is the pros and the cons, the if, ands, or buts, the if, then, else. What's our worst shot? What's the worst thing that can happen in this predicament? So you look at your case, I say, all right, well, look. Here's where we are, here's where we need to be. If we do this, we get this much closer to where we need to be in this amount of time. Why not do it? You're like, oh, well, this might happen. Like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You say, how do you know? It happens to you all the time. Yeah, because I do stuff I'm not supposed to do on my stuff. So I can push that envelope. I'm not telling you to push that. I'm telling you a way that you can do it to advance your situation because I now know something today that I didn't know yesterday.
Right.
Had I known this for mine, oh man, you think I would have waited? Like, dog, I legitimately can probably pull out a spreadsheet and calculate for you to the penny how much money I would have saved if I know what you and I know now if I knew 18 months ago.
Okay.
Literally.
Yeah.
It'll blow your mind. It'll probably be over $1 million.
Damn.
I guarantee.
Yeah.
I guarantee.
Right.
I guarantee. Because, and it's like, damn, that's all you got? Because remember, what we learned, number one is semantics. You're arguing semantics a lot of times.
Right.
Another piece is knowing not just our process, but the city's process, inspector's process, contractor's process, and putting all of that together to make it flow well, make sense, keep everybody safe. And then, most importantly, whoever your lenders are, keeping them happy and keeping the cash flow going.
Right.
You got to make your payments, you got to keep your contractor paid, you got to get your material, and you need to finish and sell.
Right.
Hit the market at the right time. Like, all of this stuff all plays into one big picture. But if you sit and do nothing, and you figure out, and you keep saying, well, I need to get my head right, or I need to figure out what's next versus actually doing what's next. I mean, where does that get us? So when I brought that up, I said, but, and then you even sent the email about it.
Yeah.
Like, thank you for thinking about it, right, but I ain't gonna do it.
Yep.
I text Reggie, I said, you see that shit? This dude is crazy. And he was like, so Reggie asked, he's like, man, explain to me what you're trying to get him to do. I said, dog, they need to be at, we're going to go by the alphabet. They need to be at Z. If he does what I tell him to do, he can get all the way to T.
Right.
While getting prepared to get to Z, and while the Z prep, when the Z prep is done, he'll probably be right at T, maybe a little past T or a little before. But otherwise, if he waits for the Z prep and doesn't do this, he'll still be before A. He wouldn't even start it. He wouldn't even started counting.
Right.
You wouldn't even learn your ABCs yet.
Yeah.
And he's like, so he says, so you could do that legally? I said, yeah. Because of how we set, and because of how we set this thing up, we're not going to do anything that goes against what's permitted. We're not going to push we're not going to tell the inspector, hey, this is what this is, and it's really not. No, we're going to do this thing the right way. It just so happened because of the design of that building it ends up being that way anyway.
Right. Okay.
So I said, so it took some back and forth for him. I asked him some questions, talking about you. So I asked Alex some questions. Alex asked me some questions. And then I said, so he said, how did y'all finally figure it out? Or how did he finally figure it out? I said, well, he figured it out beforehand because he actually started to do it. But I think once we brought what it could be and what it should be up side to side, he was like, boom, he got it. Mm-hmm. Dang. Next thing you know, he got permit.
Right.
So I guess my question to you is, what makes someone say or decide to not trust the process, or to doubt the process, or to doubt the people that drive the process? Mm-hmm. What puts them in that predicament?
Well, I guess let me go back to, explain what was going through my head.
Yeah, sure.
Is that when we had already tried to get from A to Z multiple different ways, and then the final way, or the most recent way, I couldn't believe why it wasn't working out. Someone saying something that they were going to do, taking money out of my pocket and showing no results. And I'm always.
Let me interject.
Yeah.
Something I told you don't do.
After the fact.
No, I didn't. I told y'all that day. No. When I walked in here.
Okay. Okay.
First of all, when y'all had took the meeting.
I was not aware that you said that.
I said cancel it.
Okay.
I said cancel it.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's canceled. I walk in here, y'all got the full spread out. It's like it's like a smorgasbord in here. Like it's like, you ever been on a cruise?
No, I haven't.
No, you should YouTube what buffets look like on cruises.
Okay.
It's like fat boy heaven, dog. It is amazing.
Yeah.
It is the freshest, most ridiculous, nicely carved. I mean, you work for chefs, so you know how when a chef gets in, they get it in.
Right.
So you just the fruit, the pastries, the even the damn hot dogs look different. I mean, it's just different. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I come like, man, what they doing? I see this dude, and I'm like, I'm saying, don't do it. I'm rocking. I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. When he left, I said, is this his number? They said, yeah. I said, don't do it. Yeah, but he's doing this, he can do it. I said, man, I'm trying to tell you, he ain't doing nothing. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I had to jump in there.
Yeah.
This is part of the system.
Okay.
Well, go ahead.
Right. So, no, I'm with you there. So, that was a big hang-up. Okay, so I ignored your advice. We went forward with this guy, and multiple different forms of communication were set up, and just things didn't happen. That he gave excuses, things didn't happen again, and then it just came to the point like we were asking straight up, where's the progress? You said you've done this, can we see something? And he sent us some bullshit email that he typed up with comments. And then he kept pushing the day again and again. And I've always been a very, I guess some would say naive, but I trust people easily. And I'm always holding out hope that even if something looks bad.
Let me jump in there. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. So you can't beat yourself on that, because at the end of the day, we're adults. So you would think whether I paid you or not.
Yeah.
There's no need for you to make up a story of everything you did. Because you could just easily say you did nothing.
Right.
You already got the money, so I ain't do nothing.
Right. Yeah.
So that's where that trustworthiness comes in. Like, I'm not gonna sit and facilitate all of this just to appease you. Like, who are you? Mm-hmm. So I'm with you. I understand why you would do that. Go
right.
ahead.
But basically, I mean, it just got to the point. He kept telling us, "I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this." We even gave him a chance. We said, if you're just too busy for it, just let us know and we can part ways. He still said, I can get it done in the next week or so. Nothing happened. And I mean, this is when this was around the time where we started strategizing alternative routes. Mm-hmm. And those alternative routes were like, to me at the time, they were like, just the unknown, big time, doing what we did. And I guess I was just still holding out hope and had the finances in my mind that were blowing me up in my head, and I just couldn't. I was still so stubborn that I just couldn't. I saw your idea as a solution but there were just a lot of unknowns to me.
Right. Okay.
And then it didn't really solidify, like you said, until we actually started working on it, and that made me a lot more confident.
Yeah, you're like, oh man,
confident in the plan.
Wait a second. I already do this, but do that.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So to answer your question about why don't people follow the system, I think it's a combination of, I mean, everyone, especially business people, they're stubborn to an extent. They think they can do things better. They think they have the solution. They've seen other people do other ways. But I've learned.
I'm gonna burn that. I got this one. I knew you was gonna come at me with this one. I got one for you. I got one for you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I've been watching some videos and stuff about real estate coaching, and they say there are plenty of good coaches. Like this about realtors, for instance. There's plenty of good coaches, but you're gonna mess up if you try to take one piece from one guy, one piece from another guy, because you're basically taking the easy parts from everybody, whatever you want to do, quote unquote, and that's just not the way to go. So if you pick a coach, follow the coach 100%. Don't do the hybrid like you said.
No, you can't do the hybrid. Hybrid ain't gonna work. Hybrid ain't getting none of us hit. Like the other day, I got so pissed off. And so when I'm arguing, I can be a very conceited dude. Like if I'm arguing my point, I'm on cloud 5,000. But from a showman standpoint, I'm not. I practice a lot of humility. Mm-hmm. Would you agree or disagree?
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So I got so mad the other day talking to Mike and Reggie. I said to Mike, dog, I did this. I had to say it. Like I said, I want us to be aware. I did it. And the I became a we. Mm-hmm. And I promote the we. You never, and it was like, he looked at me like, I ain't never heard you say that. Because I got that mad. You know what I mean? Like I got that mad to think like people are now trying to discredit what kicked all of this off. Like, let's not forget.
Talking about Mastermind or
everything?
From the beginning?
Oh, dog, everything.
Yeah.
Dog, all this started from the back of a Cadillac, dog. Square biz.
Yeah.
Square biz, dog. All this started from a Cadillac, man. Mm-hmm. This wasn't and it was a constant day after day hustle. And I'm not gonna never say that I did it by myself. It was Dan, it was Reggie, it was Mike. It was my first contractor, Chris Jones. It was one of the other Fortune Builders coaches, Chris Banks. It was tons of, dozens and dozens and dozens of people over the years that got it here, but it was one consistent person, me.
Right.
Whether we had money or no money, whether we had deals or no deals. I ain't never floundered, dog. Every day. Let's do it. What time of day? Let's go. I'm going to figure it out, dog. I'm going to dog. I got to sell everything. I'm selling everything. Everything. If everything gotta go, it gotta go. I'm gonna start over again. I've done it before. Like I'm not tripping. And so when I hear that, don't trust. I mean, all right, go ahead. Don't trust my system. Watch what I'm gonna show you. Well, I'm gonna show you 20 times better than I can tell you. I can tell it. I can tell you great. Like I said, I'm content rich. I can never stop talking.
Right.
But I can show you. Man, I put my feet to the pavement. Ain't nobody gonna stand up with me. So when I hear that kind of feedback, it's crazy. But it's funny when you say the stubbornness of people. This morning I was thinking about having a conversation with you, and I said, I need a good analogy to kind of argue with Alex a little bit, to get into a good conversation where I know if how I started, he's gonna think I'm gonna lose, but I know I'm gonna win. So here's I'm gonna relate it to the culinary aspect.
Okay.
All right. I want to cook a steak. I get my pan. It's the first thing I do.
Heat it up.
And what I do after that?
First thing you do is actually take out the steak and let it come to, not it be ice cold out of the freezer. Let it come down a little bit, like for about an hour or so.
All right.
Then you put the pan, you heat it up to a certain extent, and then, well, basically, if the water sizzled, you want it nice and hot so it can get nice crust on it.
What's in the pan? That pan's just hot. I'm just putting a blank pan, just putting the pan on the heat?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. And then you put your fat, your oil or your butter or whatever you're cooking with.
All right.
Let that heat up.
Okay.
And then you put the steak.
You said my oil or my butter. What type of oil, what type of butter am I using?
Well, that's personal preference. I usually use a combination of vegetable oil or canola oil and butter, because butter by itself will just burn if at that heat that you need to cook a steak.
Okay.
So if you combine them, it actually raises what's called the smoke point of the butter, which makes it be able to withstand the heat a little better.
Yep.
So I use a combination of those two.
Damn. You beat me to it. I underestimated you this time.
Yeah.
I was hoping you was going to say olive oil.
No.
I was hoping you was going to say olive oil, because I had the vegetable oil in my pocket. I was hoping you was going to say olive oil.
Nope, that has the low smoke point too. It'll just burn.
It does. It'll burn the hell up.
Yeah.
So that was my whole. I was going to say, and that's because I've trusted in somebody else's system that I know how to make my rendition of the best tasting steak.
Okay. Whose system? Whose system?
Ramsey. Gordon Ramsay.
Okay, yeah.
Like one day, because one of my buddies, I had a buddy of mine, ex-Army dude. Mm-hmm. He was like, man, you want to know how to make the best steak? Look at this Gordon Ramsay video. Send it to me, right? Yeah. He was like, it's the simplest thing in the world. You wouldn't believe it, and this thing is going to taste great. I don't even eat beef.
Right.
But I did it one day. I didn't eat it. I made it for somebody else, and they were like, what did you do to this?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. And everything you just said was the exact thing. Steak need to be almost room temperature.
Right.
Out the cooler. Vegetable oil, butter, hot pan. Simple. Salt, pepper, garlic. And baste that thing. Flip it. Yep. Baste it. Throw that thing in the oven for a little bit. Let it get that crust up good.
Yeah.
Like butter, baby.
Yeah.
Like butter. I was like, man, I would have never thought. So I was wondering if you was going to go with olive oil. Because the reason I was going to say, had you said olive oil, I'm like, you ain't no chef.
Right. Yeah. No, I probably watched that video, and I've watched a lot of videos.
Yeah. You can't tell me. So that's like somebody tell me, well, I'm in the real estate business. Okay, well, how you do this? And they tell me, and they don't tell me the right process. No, you're not. Because what that person did, and you really, really beat me to it. Because what those people do is they go to the easiest ones. So they don't go how to make the best steak. They go, how do you make a steak?
How to make a steak, right?
Oh, you just take a steak and you put it in a pan and you cook it.
Right.
And you put all this extra stuff on there. You do all of this, and it's good.
Yeah.
But it ain't the best.
Right.
You wonder why it dries out fast. You wonder why it cooked too fast, because you didn't make the best steak.
Right. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You didn't put yourself in a position to win. So that's all we doing is putting ourselves in positions to win, man. I'm not trying to look good. Like I don't even mind. Like, hey, man, talk about me all you want, dog. I ain't tripping, man. At the end of the day, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it does piss me off. It don't make me emotional, though. It just made me work harder, man. It just showed up, man. My people gonna keep winning. Like right now, Mike and Reggie are sitting at a house with 4 students.
Okay.
Having a little round table at their house for a property that just hit the market yesterday.
Okay. Nice.
Shepherd Street.
Shepherd, yeah.
$950.
Yeah.
Shalice listed it yesterday, I think at like 6 o'clock. She had 2 showings by like 6:30.
Nice. That's awesome.
It's crazy.
Yeah. That's great. What do you attribute that to?
I think, number one, the size. Square footage is huge.
Okay.
It's a big house. The finishes are immaculate. And I think that it's in a sought-after area, and it's an in unit.
Right.
And it has a detached garage.
Okay.
So it's got some functions of a house in the district that you just not going to have.
Yeah, special features.
Yeah.
But let me go back for a second. When you said, like, if you ask somebody the question and they don't know the answer, you say they're not in that business. What if they're starting out? Or what if it's like an advanced question, like even things that we're still learning about right now in terms of permitting or something like that?
The answer should never be that you don't know. And it shouldn't even be that you don't answer it if you answer it incorrectly. It could even be like, you can't say that you are a chef and you don't know the proper way to cook a steak.
Okay.
You can't say that you're a real estate investor and you don't know how to invest in real estate. You can say, I'm a real estate investor and here's what I'm learning. You need to answer that question properly.
Okay.
See, if you're a real estate investor and you just learning, when I ask you, so what you do? I'm a real estate investor. You know, okay, here's a question. If I ask you what you do, you say you're a real estate investor. You just started yesterday. You decided I'm gonna become a real estate investor. What's your follow right after that from you?
For me?
Yep.
I'm looking for this type of a fix and flip in this area.
There you go. Your elevator pitch.
Okay. Right.
So even if you don't know nothing about nothing in real estate, you're an investor because you telling me this is what I need. I need some money. I need some deals. I need some other stuff.
Right.
Then I'm like, okay, all right. You might, what's up? Let me tell you. Here's what I got.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right. So,
Just as I'm asking you about this state, I start smiling at you start naming it right. Like, damn, you got it. So if I'm some guru talking to a new person who I'm thinking, man, they ain't trusting nobody, so they just out here floundering. When I ask them a question, they answer and they give me an elevator pitch. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Right. That is the conversation can go on a little bit. Now, you put me in a position to want to help you.
Okay. So I see the difference there in my head. The question that you're asking hypothetically is a yes or no question or something like that, or a simple answer question. But instead, you're answering it.
It never is.
Okay.
It never is.
Right.
And that's the whole thing about if you and see, that's the beauty about the system. When you come learn and you come get around people who expand their mind, nothing is that basic. You can expand on everything.
Right.
Like, just think about it from when you was driving around taking pictures and going and busting tables waiting on tables at night. Probably had to bust them at the end of the night if you had to.
Right.
You did what you had to do, but you would have never thought that you being here doing what you're doing now.
Right. No, not at all.
Especially for your own damn project.
Right.
So can't nobody say you weren't willing to do what you had to do for your project.
Right.
2 months ago, you wasn't even willing to do it yourself.
Right. Yeah.
So you got to look at it like, man, I'm putting myself in a position, and this is the one place where you will see me get passionate, is people. When you put yourself around the right people to show you that there's no limit to what you can do, you just go do it all. You do all of it, dog. And you just figure out what works the best. Especially if it don't cost you nothing but your time. Hey, listen, what I tell you all the time. A lot of time on a lot of money. Right now, we ain't got nothing but time, so we got to figure something out.
Right.
And that's exactly what we did. Exactly what we did, man.
Right. That's true. So, let's go back. The system. What is the system? Is there a different system for every aspect of the business? Like, I feel like I would know what it is, but having it laid out and labeled, I guess, makes everything much easier.
Man, it's funny, man. It's you'll hear like old players or old like pimps or old school cats say this thing two ways. They'll say either the game is to be told, not to be sold, or the game is to be sold, not to be told.
Okay.
Like people will flip it, right?
Yeah.
I feel like the game is to be earned.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like you earn your position in the system as you go through it. I do believe that certain aspects of it are documented in the 1, 2, 3, because it's a sequence of events.
Okay.
Just like how I use the analogy, okay, we got this alphabet of this permit, this big thing that we want to achieve, and we're at letter A and we want to get to Z. We're going from A to Z the traditional way is going to take us so long, going to cost us so much from a time and financial space. How can we, as we're working on getting to Z from the traditional way, kind of jump ahead non-traditionally and not hurt ourselves?
Right.
How do we do that? That aspect of it isn't documented.
Okay.
Because it's not a hybrid, because we're still working within the system, but that's when we reach out to our sphere of influence. Help me. How do I get here? What can I do? What can I do? Let me look at what I'm doing in this particular instance versus this other one. How was I able to do this here and I'm not able to do it there? And I think as we develop that, spawns those different checkpoints of non-documented things in the process. But you said it would make it easier or simpler if it was documented, but that's why it's not, because it's not supposed to be easy. Like, I can give you a book. I mean, we got books all over the place that say, here's what you should do to be a real estate investor. I could tell everybody that listens to this thing, this is what you do. Go find a realtor, Go find some neighborhoods you're interested in. Find some distressed properties that have a certain level of distress, whether it be physically or financially. Make some offers on them. Based on the offer that you make, see what it'll be worth if you do some work to it. See what type of profit that yields you. Find somebody to lend you some money and go do it.
Okay. Right.
Is that not the gist of it?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
But based off of that, how many people can actually go do that?
Nobody.
Exactly.
Well, very few.
Exactly.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't even need to die. I just told you.
Right.
So people say, well, it's not that easy. No, it actually, in theory, it is that easy.
Right.
You find a property. You find a realtor that can give you comps to find a property. You get a lender to buy the property. You fix it up. Then you go right to that realtor and you sell it.
Yeah.
And then you make, that is how you flip out.
Right.
Residential redevelopment. Flip, you got to be careful. A property.
Okay.
You add value. But I bet you nobody can listen to that and tomorrow I'll be a real estate investor.
Right.
Because those other pieces that, okay, well, I went and found a realtor, but that realtor, they want you to meet them at their office at 9 o'clock. You're going to ride in the back of their Mercedes-Benz and they're going to take you around to these different houses. They're going to have these deal sheets of why this house is so great even though the roof is falling in and why you should buy it and all this, that, and another. And then they're going to want to hook you up with their lender to do their pre-approved with their traditional lender. They can't close for 60 days.
Right.
No, that's not it.
Yeah.
So to get that, you need the system.
Right.
You need this sphere of influence. Say, man, I went to this realtor, they was whack. They wouldn't even take me to Capitol Heights or
Right.
Anacostia or none of those little boxes.
So with that, with the simple system you just explained, what you need to find is the right everything, the right realtor, the right house, the right lender, and all of that is where it takes the time and effort and a lot of know-how. Yeah.
That's right. Like even looking, it's so funny, right? I was telling Al, I told Al a couple weeks ago, I said, man, I got this email from Christina asking about her. And I was like, I could tell like she wanted to like go in.
Yeah.
But she couldn't go in. So I responded to her and told her what's up. And I said, man, it's kind of funny because of how much, and this spawned a conversation that I ended up having with Al, Eli Collin one day in here, of how I needed to switch what I'm doing because I can't do that. If I continue to do that, too much of this business stuff is going to mess up.
Right.
I need to do the business. I can't. I said, I need you to handle that. And he was like, yeah, it ain't nothing. You just need to give me the thumbs up. We'll go do it. And that's why you seen one day it was this way. 3 days later, it was a whole nother way.
Right.
Like I said, it's funny because I'm so busy, I think we collectively forget how we got here. We got here because this is what I do. Like literally, frame it up. Throw the roof on. What next?
Right.
What's your problem now?
Yeah.
You had a problem Tuesday. Now it's Friday. Now you don't have one.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's legitimately. Somebody said, well, why didn't you do that before? Because I didn't have the bandwidth. I was working on this, that, and another. You know. And it's funny. I got a text from Walter last night. He asked me, did I need him to do something? He's like, everybody needs help, dog. Even you. I said, man, I already sent the email. We good. I just need to wait for the,
Yeah.
It's funny, though. But, yeah, I mean, I know. But that's trusting in the system.
Right.
So in my system, I had to sit down with my guys, Al, Colin, and Eli, and say, look, man, this about to be y'all ship. I can direct a little bit, but you ain't going to see me at all.
Okay.
You can't.
Right.
Because any minute I'm out there, I'm not in here doing business. You know what I'm saying? That needs to be y'all's business. You know what I mean? And you see, man, when we in here doing what we do, man, we do it at a high level. We get it done quick. It don't take long. It don't take long at all.
Cool. So, let's turn it back on you. So how, like starting out in this business or any business, was there ever a time you were trying to follow a system and you just, in your mind, you had a better way? Because I mean, you're stubborn as hell. So I
don't think that I necessarily have a better way. I just think there is a better way.
Okay.
See, like I had a conversation with my mother the other day, man, and she pushed because I think she thought I was like sleeping on myself. Like I've never been talented at anything. Like I've never been this the kid that did like I wasn't a great basketball player, but I could hoop. You know what I mean? I wasn't a great football player, but I could ball because I was big and I was strong. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I ain't never played soccer, so I don't even know what that's like. But But I was smart, so I was good in school, you know what I'm saying? So I got good grades, but I wasn't no valedictorian.
Right.
I don't even know if I was in the honor society or nothing like that, because I ain't care. Like, whatever, I got good grades. Don't nobody need to know but me. You know, that's just how I am. Like, who cares if I'm good. I'm good with it. They gonna give me a scholarship? Nah, because my scores ain't that high, so I ain't tripping there. Mm-hmm. Give me a scholarship, well, I'll join in. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If it's a benefit for me, then I'm gonna do it, but I'm not gonna do it just to be associated with you.
Right.
I got homies. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I never felt like my way was better. I just felt like there was a better way. So even like when we doing these plans and we looking what the reviewers say, I'm like, man, this don't make sense. So I'm like, well, let's go look at this one. Let's go look at this one. I clearly have no idea what the answer is, but I think we can always find it. So when I first started out, we went to a couple of RIAs. Dan and I did. We went to a couple of RIAs, right? And I'm like, man, I don't know, man. I'm just not even feeling this joint. And there's this one dude wanted us to buy his RIA.
Of course.
And we was going to do it. And I was like, nah, I ain't with it. We can just start our own joint.
Yeah.
Why would I spend money on his joint?
Right.
And he was like, oh, but it comes with all my marketing, all of this and all of that. Man, whatever. You don't even know nobody for real. You know what I'm saying? So we ended up not doing that. And then we went to a boot camp one weekend with some local dudes. And I'm sitting there in the boot camp and I'm listening to what they saying. And I'm like, nah. I don't know what to do, but I ain't feeling this.
Right.
Like, this just not right.
Right.
So I'm not willing to participate.
Okay.
I'm cool.
Right.
I remember telling Dan, like, dog, you can go ahead on and do your thing, man. I'm going to go ahead on and I'm going to roll.
Right.
And matter of fact, because of these folks actually had it so that you could finance your tuition for the joint.
Okay.
And when I got there and I started asking certain questions, they came and told Dan, well, no, we're going to go ahead and need you to pay. We're going to need you to go ahead and pay in full. And I think it's because they knew that at some point I was like, nah, I'm not, y'all ain't getting nothing out of me.
Right, right.
And like, I'm not feeling this joint. And it ended up not being a good situation, like I thought. I'm not saying I knew better though. They may have, at that time, they was getting money and doing some things better than me.
Right.
But I didn't have a better way. Mm-hmm. I'll be honest with you, I really didn't. It wasn't until after that I went and bought a couple of joints. Didn't know what the hell I was doing still, because again, they was buying and selling, so they was clearly doing something. Right. Bought a couple of joints, ain't know what the hell I was doing. Flew out to Cali to this Fortune Builders thing. I was like, oh no, they got it figured out. And I swear to God, dog, for me, they filled every gap. Every void I had, they filled. Mm-hmm. And I think it was because they were probably, and I learned over time, they were much like us. They started doing some stuff, didn't know what to do, then they went and found the right person. Mm-hmm. to help them, which is a lady by the name of Robin Thompson. I don't know if you're familiar with her. Like, she's like, you should look her up, dog. She's like crazy. She's the shit. So I think from that's what gave me this attitude. Like, I mean, well, I already had it, but gave me more of a higher perception that when I don't know something, number one, it's okay. Right. Number two, I'm cool to say I don't know it before somebody else tells me that I look like I don't know. Okay. So that's why I'll say, if you say you're a real estate investor, you need to demonstrate to me what you are not. Early. Okay. Right. Don't try to profess all these things you are, because you ain't that. Like, don't do that. Like, what's the purpose? Like, what are you doing? You ain't the president. Right. Don't try to say you running. So was you running for a local mayor or something? Like, you ain't the president. I'll just say, no, I'm running for local office, man. I'm in the politics. Okay. This is what I'm doing. Yeah. Not, oh yeah, I'm in the White House. In the White House. Yeah. Mowing the lawn. Right, exactly. But you're in the White House. Yeah. Or like one of our employees, Mike, swear to God, he always at the White House. That's because he live on 16th Street near the White House in Silver Spring. Because the bus rides past the White House as he comes in the city. Yeah. Like, yeah, you hanging with Mike. But nah, man. So for me, and so once I found that, and it legitimately, like, every void I had, man, filled the voids, man. Uh-huh. And that's why I support it to the extent that I support it. But I know others who didn't have the same level of tenacity that I had going in, they weren't going to have the same level of success. Initially, that doesn't mean that they can't. I believe they can. Right. I believe everybody can. Right. But you need to have a level of initiative, tenacity, and will, dog. Like you can't. All the energy that it takes for you to get frustrated, you gotta ball that up and put it into those other adjectives, man, and to make something out of the situation. Because if you don't, man, it's gonna burn you. It's gonna eat you alive, man.
Right.
It's gonna eat you because you got too many people that come in with visions of grandeur and do some things just because somebody else did it, and they ain't had no business doing it.
Right.
None at all. I've seen it happen too much.
So I kind of feel like now, for me personally, I've always been stubborn. I've always gotten advice and gone the other way because I want to learn. I mean, I feel the best way for me to learn is from my personal experience.
Okay.
And it's not just like, oh, you think you know better? Fuck you! I'm going to do it my way. It's just I want to see where my way goes, even though I'm getting this advice.
Right.
So I feel like it's almost like if you're a teacher of some sort or a mentor, that every student you have is going to be like a separate business, and that each business or the relationship you have with them is going to have its ups and downs, its trials and errors, things like that. How do you feel about that? Like,
so
no matter how polished it is.
I agree. No. I honestly feel like it I agree. 100%. The however is that person has to feel that way too.
Okay. And they have to be open to failing. Yeah.
That person has to know they're going to be ups and downs.
Right.
We are not going to always ride a high.
Right.
And when you hit the low, how do we handle it? Not how do you handle it.
Right.
The you can be the teacher or the student. Same thing like in a personal relationship. We hit a low, how do we handle it? Are we going to push through it, or are you going to sit there and bitch?
Right.
If you're going to sit there and bitch, you on your own, because I ain't got time to bitch. I'm just not with it.
Right.
Like, I can't do it. Like, I've been in too many worse positions. So even your bad position is a good one to me.
Yeah.
Because you never lost what? You never lost opportunity. It didn't go away. Like I'm telling you, dog. I use your example too much. You had private lending. I said, you need to holler at them. Here's what you need to say. Mm-hmm. Oh, what is that going to do? What is that going to do? I said, dog, I'm trying to tell you, here's what you need to say. I'm just trying to tell you because I know, dog.
Yeah.
Trust me. If you do this, you good. Man, I don't know. Okay, I'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
You do it, oh, they still not going to, it's just not going to work out. Okay. Then go do this, then go back to him. Watch what happens. Oh, man, you don't know. Gonna make me a mistake. 2-3 weeks later, you get the permit. Hey, I talked to them today. Yeah, they said they're cool.
Yeah.
Could have just done that 2 weeks ago.
Right.
But it's just so it's all about, and I understand we all get in the rut, dog. Mm-hmm. And so as the teacher, you got to understand somebody's rut.
Right.
You got to understand that that's not that. Even if it's at that time, it's really not their mindset.
Right. Yeah.
And it may not even be their emotion. It might just be. Sometimes it can be an emotion, but not that they're emotional. It can be, this is how I display how this is making me feel. Like I'm pissed off and I don't know what to do. I'm in a state of confusion because I've never been in this space. I've never had to owe somebody. I've never had to promise somebody something and I wasn't able to deliver. So many unknowns. Now you really legitimately can say the 3 words that all parents hate. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And actually, that is really the answer.
Right.
Like, I don't know, man.
Right.
But it needs to be, I don't know today. Let me go get that answer. And here's what I'm going to do to get it. So I agree. Each student, teacher, mentor, mentee relationship is going to be different. But that don't mean that the system changes. Neither does the message.
Right. No.
It can't.
Right.
Because if it does, when you get the collective, they're going to say, well, hold on, that's not what I learned. You should have learned nothing different than anyone else. Mm-hmm. But, talking to Alex versus talking to Walter is going to be 2 totally different things.
Right.
But when I have a room of 1,000 Alex and Walters, I got to say the same thing. But what should happen is how I engage you, when I look in your eyes, or I make certain mannerisms, they're like, okay, he felt me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He felt, okay. I feel what he's saying. Like, if you have that connection with yourself, you will be able to see in your mentors and your teachers that they understand the position you're in, even if you never even shared it. because you understand you. Now, if you don't understand where you are as an individual, it's never going to work.
Right.
And that's why you'll hear me say, we're not going to have 100%. It'll be a long time before we have 100% of success rate in certain things that we do, because 100% of the people don't even understand why they're in a position they're in. Because some people are in a position before they even come to you.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like a sick puppy. A sick puppy got rabies and worms and never been cared for and all these other things. You can nurse that puppy back, but if all it's ever known is damage and this, that, and the other, it's only so much you can do. Mm-hmm. At some point, something within that being has to turn. And you can't, only you solely can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'll put myself, like you said, put myself in the hot seat. I also have to be open and subjective to that. Like some people say, well, you're this way, you're that way, I'm only one way. Now, I'm only one way if it's about our success. You can sit down and we can have a conversation, but the minute you start deviating away towards something that has nothing to do about where we need to go, you're right, I'm not going to be a part of it. And that's part of being in that position. That's like being in your English class asking about a math problem. What that got to do with you not writing this paper right? Right. Unless you can't count the pages or count the words. Right. But I don't care nothing about no calculus right now. Right. We writing this paper. Okay, you upset. What you upset about? Okay, that got nothing to do about this writing this paper. Focus. Lane clarity. Mm-hmm. Paul the Sage said that joint to me one time. Blew my mind. I was like, lane clarity, man, I need to use that. And we live off the beltway. You better have lane clarity because you're going to die. Yes, man. Fast. They're going to take you out. Right. Lane clarity, dog. You need to know exactly where you're going in your space. Mm-hmm. Before you can put on that turn signal and ask somebody else, can you get over? You better know where you're going. Right. If you don't know where you're going, how can you expect somebody else to help you get there? Right. So I want to go to the top. Okay, well, what does the top mean? Oh, I don't know. Well, why you here? Oh, I mean, I can't. I'm willing to help you. Is the top to you where I am? Is the top to you where somebody else is above me? Is the top below me? Is the top below you? Like, what is your top? What is it? And okay, then what do you think it's going to take to get you there? Well, I don't know. Okay. You don't know where you want to go. You don't know what it's going to take for you to get there. But you want me to help you do it. Okay. I don't know what to tell you, dog. Right. I just don't, man. I don't know what to tell him, man. I got you quiet, so much you got you thinking. I like that. I ain't been quiet in a minute, man.
No, I was just thinking about when I came in and talked to Reggie for the first time about Mastermind. I'm trying to think of what I had said. I don't even know if he asked that question or it was more just fill out the sheet or something like that. I don't remember. But I feel like my answer then would have been, why do I want to be a real estate investor? Then it would have been because I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And I've learned now, like, if you just focus on what you don't want, you just get more of that rather than focusing on what you do want.
I have never, hear me out, I never wanted to be a real estate investor. Uh-huh. I didn't. Right. I didn't want to be a podcast participant. Right. I didn't. Yeah. I didn't want to work Saturdays. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to run a construction company. I didn't want to have a X $1 million investment firm at this point. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to have X of hundreds of thousands of dollars in bills every month. Right. I didn't want none of that. Yeah. But I'm saying this to compliment what you just said, but I know a whole lot of stuff I don't want to do. Right. A whole lot. Yeah. And I don't do it either. Yeah. And that's the beauty of it, man. It's beautiful. Like, man, I ain't doing that. Mm-hmm. And it's funny when people. It's funny, like when you put yourself in that position. Because you did determine to follow some system and you decided to trust it and it took you to a better place. And you're like, man, I can really look at somebody and say, no, I'm not doing that. With all the confidence in the world, and some people actually think it's disrespectful. Mm-hmm. Like, did you just tell me no? Right. Yes, I did. Yeah. I spent 20 some odd years of saying yes. And now I can say no. Like it or not.
Yeah.
And like I told you, when you and I first met, we did our ride along. What you end up doing is you put your kids in a position to do the same thing and take it to another level.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be able to share with them, look, here's where your dad started. Here's where I ended up. Here's where I am now. At a minimum, you will be able to start where I am.
Right.
At a minimum.
Right.
Now, I ain't saying I'm going to give you all the money.
Right.
Because you retarded. You know
exactly.
what I mean? You just don't know. You young and you crazy. And you just going to mess it up. You're a little stupid.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you do that. But I'm going to give you some skills at my level so that you can take that and run with it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you decide that there's some things that you can like, where you can earn, take care of yourself, and at some point take care of your family, and you can be okay and you can flourish, then yeah, I'm going to support that.
Mm-hmm.
But at a minimum, oh, you doing this.
Right.
It's not optional. And I think that's one of the things that we have not established in our culture, a familial system that you've seen a lot of other cultures establish. They come here and they just kill it.
Right.
Like, how they can do it here and they ain't even from here.
Right. Yeah.
They got a system. Now we gonna all move in this house and we gonna all grind and hate each other for about 5 years.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna start this business. We're gonna get to a point that we're gonna be in another position. We're gonna kick another business off over there. We'll have another point. We're gonna kick another bit. Next thing you know, everybody started in this house grinding, all got their own business, and now all got their own house.
Yeah.
After 5-6 years of hard work, maybe even 10
right.
of hard work. But us, nah. We ain't gonna do that.
Right.
So we gotta make that change, man.
But I mean, yeah, when you started talking about with the kids, I was thinking about that. Like, I've read a lot that if one generation gets wealthy, the next generation is just gonna waste it, and then it's like you skip a generation because they're privileged already. They know what it's like, so they don't know how to earn it, basically, or how to keep it.
You gotta teach them, man. You gotta teach them, man. Like and it's the same thing in our regime. At some point, we won't be mentoring, but that don't mean that you won't be.
Mm-hmm.
But that don't mean that Walter won't be, or Tierra, or Christina Cunningham, or I'm thinking of somebody else there who I think got the real good, or Jackie or Cynthia. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't mean that they won't be. Well, Jackie and Cynthia do a ton of outreach as it is now, but I'm just saying it doesn't mean that any of these people won't go out and do their thing. Or think of like Diane.
Right.
Diane, being a nurse, she may say, you know what? This might be an opportunity for me to show some nurses who've been in the business a long time and at some point will retire. Here's something I can teach them on how they can segue into retirement.
Right.
And that gives her a whole... how many nurses are there everywhere?
Right, yeah. Absolutely.
There probably are like her because she's such a caring... Like, it's one thing I've learned, as crazy as it is, man. Male and female. I'm tell me if you've ever experienced this. Male and female nurses care about people at a different level than regular people, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they really do.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like kind of weird. Like, you in the hospital, they taking care of you, and they taking care of you like you they kid. And they could be the same age as you.
Yeah.
They like, oh no, you not right. I gotta get you right.
Right.
Like, almost like higher level than a doctor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you look at the spirit that she has. Think of the type of system that she can project on people because of how she is as an individual, as well as what her successes have been in business. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah. No, that's true.
But others don't want to trust in it.
Right.
I'm good. Go ahead. Don't do it. Watch what happens.
Awesome.
So yeah, man, that's what I got, man. It just was on my head, man. I said, man, it's I've been a lot of things, man. I've been a lot of things, man. When I hear that about me, I'm like, man, I like it. I like the challenge, though.
Mm-hmm.
I like the challenge, man. We'll see. We'll see, man. It's gonna be an interesting ride. 2019, man. It's been crazy already. We 4 months in.
Yeah.
Shit. Just wait till like August. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be crazy, man.
Can't wait.
You got anything else, man?
Nah, man. I think we're good. That was a good one.
Cool.
For sure.
We out.
All right, till next time. Peace.